It'll all depend on what the ice is like. One of the things to keep in mind with a group this big, safety is obviously a really important thing, especially getting a little further out if the ice is looking a little dangerous or so on. It's Joe's judgment. What he says goes, and if he says to do something, we should just do it. The object is to introduce the students to some of the ideas and practices of working with community members, Inupiat whalers or others in different parts of the sea ice world, and engaging in their understanding of the sea ice, their knowledge of sea ice. And of course, in one module in a couple sessions, we can't cover everything. And the idea, I think, instead has been to introduce them to the basic idea and to give them a little flavor of what that's like. Warren Matumiak, who's a former planning director and director of the Department of Wildlife Management, a distinguished elder, another distinguished elder, and whaling captain Wesley Aiken, and Joe Levitt, who's another whaler who's been instrumental in several research projects over the past several years, and you'll hear a little bit more about that, and his wife Nancy, who's also been heavily involved in the study that we have going on.
I'm Warren Matumiak, and Wesley Aiken is my cousin. We grew up when Barrow was very small. The population was about 350, and the houses that we used were very small, and we were very poor. There were no jobs in those days, and we could only travel with dock teams. And if the dock team survived during the winter, when there's no food for the dock teams, then it's really hard for us to travel. So when we're whaling in the springtime, we use dock teams to go out there and also put a harness on ourselves and tow the boat out there. But things have changed because of the snow machines that are available now, and when you go out there, it's not as quiet like it used to be.
It's always beautiful in the summer when there's no wind, like glass, or you can boat out there. Of course, we like ice hanging around little closer, but it drift away now these days, 300-400 miles away from here. Last summer, the walrus, some of them getting tired, they beach out here and sleep on the beach. That's what been changing since I started to hunt. I started to hunt while I was young. Now these days they're been changing. The world everywhere is changing around here.
The goal is to go out on the ice with someone who looks at it from perhaps a little different perspective. So to try to understand when a whaler is driving out on the ice, what does he see? What does he look for? And so, Joe would take us out and would show us certain features or describe things. And the hope was that in doing that, the students would be understanding some of the things that a whaler looks at and perhaps seeing some of the connections with the other parameters that they've been studying.
The current is, this time of year, the current really gets stronger. So when we're out whaling, we have to keep in mind that the current is eating the ice underneath. It's just like running water. To us, the safe ice the safest ice is the first pressure ridge from the beach to us, because we know that formed the first, and that's the safest ice we got. Pressure ridges are just like mountains forming, like, you know, a fault on the earthquake line or whatever. When they meet together, it's just like a little mountain. That's how pressure ridges are formed. And some of them that are in a shallow area will get grounded.
And this one is breaking up and it's piling up. It's so heavy, you know, it is very heavy, but this current is so strong that it will keep going until the ice will find itself under the weaker spot and start piling up in that again when this will stop. And it is amazing to us, those when I was younger, when I'm alone, I could ride those rubble, that ice forming up on top. When nobody's looking at me, I'm feeling myself how I could do it. Well, I was caught by one of the hunters that were watching from on the shore vast ice, and he really chewed me out. But I was having fun. I think I knew what I was doing. I have seen enough of this ice moving and piling up, and so it doesn't, when it's not going fast, then you can ride on it, and you could just take off of it before it gets too dangerous. And that's something I shouldn't be telling, but I never tell that to